Have you ever looked at a huge project and just felt completely lost? That feeling where you have no idea where to even start? Well, today, we're pulling back the curtain on the secret weapon that project managers use to turn total chaos into a crystal clear plan. Let's jump right in.
So, to really get what we're talking about, I want you to imagine you've been handed a task that sounds, well, almost impossible.
I mean, seriously, where would you begin? You've got life support, housing, food production, transportation. The list just goes on and on. The sheer number of tasks it's paralyzing. You know that feeling when your brain just kind of freezes up from the complexity? That, right there, is Project Chaos.
And it doesn't have to be a city on Mars. It could be launching a new software product or organizing a massive event right here on Earth. Any huge project can feel like this unclimbable mountain. You're staring at thousands of tasks, trying to coordinate hundreds of people, all for one single giant goal. Without a map, you are completely lost in the woods. But what if you could have a map of that entire mountain before you even take your first step? What if there was a tool that could turn that tangled mess of a project into a clear step-by-step roadmap? Well, there is. It's called the Work Breakdown Structure, or WBS for short. And believe me, this is way more than just another to-do list. This is the framework that lets you see the entire project, from the 30,000-foot view all the way down to the tiniest screw, all at once. Now, the textbook definition calls it a hierarchical framework, which sounds a little formal, I know, but all it really means is that you're building a family tree for your project. And the most important rule is that it has to cover 100% of the work, everything you need to do to get to the finish line. Not 99%, not 101%. It's all about making sure absolutely nothing gets messed. So how do you actually build this amazing blueprint? Well, it all starts with a very simple but incredibly powerful idea. It's called decomposition. Decomposition is basically the art of taking a massive goal and just breaking it down into smaller, bite-sized pieces. So you start with the whole thing, right? Let's say you're building a warehouse. You then break that big goal down into major chunks like site prep, foundation, superstructure, and so on. But you don't stop there. You take foundation and you break that down into smaller parts, like pour concrete footers. And you keep going, slicing and dicing, until you have these individual tasks that are so small and clear that anyone can understand, assign, and manage them. Okay, now this next part is maybe the most important thing to get right. A WBS defines the what, the things you need to deliver. It is not a schedule that tells you when to do them, and it's not a task list that tells you how. Think of it this way. The WBS is your list of ingredients for a recipe. The schedule is the recipe's instructions. You have to know what ingredients you need before you can figure out the steps to cook the meal, right? Same idea. You might be wondering, okay, but what about the details? If the WBS is just the structure, where do all the specific instructions live? Well, that's where its essential sidekick comes in, the WBS Dictionary. If the WBS is your blueprint, the dictionary is the details legend right there on the side explaining what every symbol means. And this slide shows you exactly what one of those dictionary entries looks like. For each little piece of the WBS, like site preparation, the dictionary gives you the absolute must-know details. Look at this. You've got the specific work product, what it depends on, potential risks, even the technical specs. This is what eliminates confusion and guesswork. It's all right there. Okay, so we've got the structure, we've got the details. Now let's see what this thing actually looks like. How does this all come together in a way the whole team can look at and just get it? A work breakdown structure is usually shown in one of two ways. The first way, and this is probably the one you'll see most often, is as a tree hierarchy. And as you can see, it looks a lot like a company's org chart, doesn't it? At the very top, you've got the entire project. And from there, it just branches out into major chunks, like building one. Then building one branches out again into design and construction, and you keep going down. It gives you this awesome top-down view of everything that needs to get done. The second way to visualize it is as a simple indented list. Now, the key thing to remember here is, don't let the different look fool you. This is the exact same information as the tree diagram. It's just dressed up in different clothes. So in this format, a simple numerical code shows you how everything is connected. You can instantly see that design is a part of building one, just by looking at the numbers. This list format is an absolute dream for project management software because it gives every single task a unique ID. It makes tracking progress a total breeze. So you might be thinking to yourself, wow, this looks like a lot of work up front, and you're not wrong.
But why go through all this trouble? The answer is simple. This is the solid foundation that your entire project is built on. Without it, you're building on sand.
The WBS is the engine that drives everything else. It's the blueprint that you use to build your schedule and your budget. It creates a common language, a single source of truth, so the whole team is on the same page. And here's the kicker. It ensures that every single dollar spent and every hour worked is tied directly back to a specific part of the project. No more guessing. And really, it all boils down to this quote here. The WBS provides that common frame of reference. It means that everyone, from the engineer in the field to the CEO in the boardroom, is looking at the same map, speaking the same language, and working towards the exact same goal. So, what the WBS really does is take you from that initial overwhelming feeling of chaos to a state of complete and total clarity. It transforms what feels like an impossible goal into a simple series of achievable steps. And that, right there, is its true power. And that leaves me with one last thought for you. You know, these principles of breaking things down aren't just for multi-billion-dollar projects. They work for anything. So think about it. What chaos in your work or even in your life could use a blueprint to make it clear, manageable, and maybe, just maybe, achievable?